Africa has got to be free.
Beating your mother, killing your brother, huh? Abantu ama-rape izingane zamantombazane zethu akusiwo umfana waka-Van der Merwe, akusiwo umfana waka-Hazelwood, umuntu wakabani mhlawumbe wakamathunjwa, wakamkhize, wakangcobo, wakamkwela. Those are the black people. Then you want to blame apartheid around those issues.
Greetings everyone, I hope you are fine, I hope you are doing well. I'm Xolani Moloi and I appreciate you for taking your precious time to watch this video, and I just want to say thank you very much. And if you like to support this type of content, I will appreciate if you can just hit the subscribe button, that like button, like never before. I have my own views, and my views don't belong to anyone, but they belong to me. And I don't want to force my views to other people. But I just want to say, hear me out. I have a different perspective. You know, if someone is smoking wunga, nyawupe, or cocaine, or all these different kinds of substances, you may see them suffering physically. Sometimes they will stop taking a bath. In other words, they'll stop taking care of themselves in many ways. That's when you'll realize that these people are suffering from these substances. And when you see that now these people are suffering from these substances, you may take a step to say, probably let's take them to a rehabilitation center so that they can be rehabilitated. In other words, rehabilitation is very important. And when they come back, sometimes with their behavior, even though they are rehabilitated to the fullest, you will notice some of their behavior and you'll ask yourself what's happening. But you'll quickly remind yourself that, okay, this person had a problem of using substances. So in other words, he's still suffering from those things. In other words, those effects are still showing themselves there and there, even though they had been rehabilitated. So just imagine if you have never been rehabilitated. Can you be trusted with money? No, you cannot, because you're going to take that money and buy these substances. Can you be trusted with leadership? Absolutely not, because you are going to become friends with gangsters. Can you be trusted with marriage? Absolutely not. Your wife is going to suffer a lot. You need to be rehabilitated. Am I blaming apartheid? Most definitely, I have to. I have to blame the apartheid. They say we should not blame the apartheid, but I have to blame the apartheid. We don't have leaders. These people, they think like a whippy during apartheid. Ended there. You are lynched and other people are watching. It ended there. You are called a monkey. It ended there. You are inferior. It ended there. Abused sexually. It ended there. Abused physically. It ended there. We think everything ended there during apartheid. Absolutely not. That is why after apartheid, all these people who were supposed to be rehabilitated, we gave them positions. Some as presidents, some as mayors, councillors, judges, law enforcers, lecturers, ministers, minister of education, minister of health. We gave them all these positions as governors. Some of these people, we even gave them, like for an example, tenders so that they can like make money through these huge contracts. And we ask ourselves, why these people are they sleeping with teenagers? We ask ourselves, why these 50-year-old, 60-year-old are they doing this? All these people were not rehabilitated. All these people, even if they can preach, even if they can do whatever, these people were not rehabilitated. Because when you consume these substances, wunga, nyawope, it will demonstrate itself physically. You will see that this person has stopped taking bath. But the bigger problem is not the appearance, it's not the physical appearance or the outward appearance. The bigger problem is inside, in the mind. So that is why when this person is not rehabilitated, their friends will suffer. Their families will suffer. His wife, his colleagues are going to suffer. Because this person is not rehabilitated. So that is why many people, they take just apartheid light, that, okay, you were beaten. It ended there. You were regarded as a slave. It ended there. The big rope, the huge rope was tied around you as if you were an animal, as if you were a cow. They think it ended there. You were chained on your feet while you were working in the field. They think it ended there. No. It's been 400 years. It's been 500 years. Most definitely it has affected the minds of the people. When you see them drinking alcohol, it's because their forefathers were paid through alcohol. And just because it was coming from the hand of the slave master, and they had regarded a slave master as someone who is superior, both of them had a zeal that if this bottle can satisfy the slave master or our master, I want to drink this bottle. Then their master will keep on giving them this bottle. In other words, if this car was driven by my master, I want to drive it. I want to drive it as well. That is why some of them ended up fighting for these resources, that no, you shouldn't be the one driving this car. I should be the one. Why? Because they want to sit where their master used to sit. They want to drive the very same car that their master used to drive. That's the sign of inferiority. So that is why they ended up like enjoying to say, you know what? Even if our master can pay us with alcohol, we will serve our master. Because at that time, they had already been defeated. Some people might say it ended there. Absolutely not. That is why after 1994, various programs were supposed to be implemented so that people can be rehabilitated. Because if my father was programmed, most definitely I'm programmed. That is why I also need to be rehabilitated. So that is why these programs were supposed to be implemented in various schools under the Department of Education. What are these NPOs doing? They are doing nothing. People are programmed. So that is why when you go even to a supermarket, you're on a queue with people from different race or from different races. And the cashier is black. All of these other people will be treated, okay, will be treated accordingly. But when it comes to you, the cashier will start acting crazy. So sometimes I don't get mad because I know where the problem is. Because I'm like, this person is very young, But why does she have the mentality of our forefathers? And I quickly remind myself that no, the problem is that if your forefather was programmed to the fullest, most definitely you will be programmed. You will be programmed. So these people, they are just talking in the name of life. So I'm used to these things because I used to go to a church for multiple times. So I know that the preachers, they preach like this and people will be like, yeah. People will shout and say, yeah. But when you start analyzing what these people are saying, start realizing that no, they are also programmed. They talk like this because they are also programmed. I'm telling you the truth. It didn't just end there. I remember many years ago, I was like in a debate with this gentleman, but we're not in a debate as such, but we were in a tough conversation. And this gentleman was like, you know what, in order for black people to be emancipated from mental slavery, in other words, from 1994, we need 100 years more. From 1994, we need 100 years before they can be freed. And he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth because you need like a rehabilitation program whereby people can be programmed, because the townships were created by who? By the apartheid system. Inferiority complex was created by who? By the apartheid system. To lean on alcohol or to drink alcohol like nobody's business and to get paid by alcohol. Who? The apartheid system. Our brothers and sisters, they've adopted it right now. In other words, we can go deep about these things. You see, for my brother to hate me, who created this tension? Who divided us? Why, when my brother sees me, sees an enemy? Who divided us? The apartheid system. When you see families split, when you see the high rate of divorce, when you see amongst black people, when you see these things happening in a black community, 90% of the times, they are connected to the apartheid system. Not because we want to shift blame to the apartheid system when it comes to each and everything. But you have to understand that if you don't rehabilitate this person, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, this person will give a problem to his wife, to his family members, to his colleagues. If you don't rehabilitate this, this is what is happening in South Africa. So for it to get better, it's getting worse. We don't even need 100 years, because after that 100 years, we are going to be even more worse. This is my perception. The apartheid system has to be blamed where it has to be blamed. I say this in context. My context is our people were never rehabilitated. That is why right now, the way we treat each other, right now is as a result of those divisions that happened many years ago. I'm not saying people should not be taken to prison, but I'm saying if the rehabilitation can be taken seriously, can be implemented, the number of people who are doing wrong will go down. Crime rate will go down. The number of prisoners will be reduced. All these things, so that justice can be applied. Because when you rehabilitate someone, you don't just rehabilitate them, you have to apply justice. You have to take them back to their roots. You have to connect them with their forefathers. with their father's land, with their father's resources, with everything. In other words, the rehabilitation program should go with those things. This is my perception. I can say we don't have leaders because they don't think deep. It's easy for them to say. The people, when you see crime rate, when you see all these things, when you see these things happening, they don't happen in white communities. They happen amongst black people. So we cannot blame apartheid. Should you not blame the manufacturer of drugs? If you can no longer take a bath because of these drugs, most definitely you have to cry and say, how can this person create such a substance that can make a human being to even distance himself from water